Hey guys, Ilex here. So in today's video, I wanted to go over some of the projects that I was working on this past year and all of the challenges that I encountered and lessons that I learned. And maybe you guys can draw some inspiration from these projects, whether it is garden design wise, or maybe you will see a plant that you would like to use in your own garden this coming spring. So in this video, I will go over 3 projects probably because they all have a lot of moving parts. So I don't want this video to get too long. So let's get started. So the first project was actually down the street from me, which was really convenient during installation times. So when I first met with a client and we did a walk through the property, the first thing I noticed is that the backyard was completely overgrown and half of it was pretty much swallowed by English ivy, lots of junk trees. There were some white pine saplings, white pine is a wonderful tree for like a public park, but not for a small residential property. So what they were looking for, and that is like my number one thing that I ask my clients, like, what are you looking for in this design project? You know, I have my ideas, but the most important thing is that what they want. And they were looking to open up the space because they had a young and active dog and their kids, I think, in teenage stage. So they would like to have them play in the backyard, maybe throw a ball or a frisbee, and have a lot of colorful shrubs and perennials because the homeowner, she really loves plants. And she already had a decent collection of plants in the yard. So my solution was to open up the space, create this beautiful lawn that is its own feature, and then surrounded by a lot of layered perennial gardens, including shrubs, and also evergreen screen with their neighbors. Because when we took down a lot of the junk that was there, they lost their privacy. Well, they lost their privacy, but we actually opened up a lot of light because of all of the trees were so overgrown. It was so dark in the backyard, and once we took everything down, there was so much more light. It just felt so wonderful. So I will post a quick video of like what happens during the actual installation process and like how many people are involved, and we're like all running around and there are all these machinery and the plants and the sod. So the lawn was a really great feature, but I also decided to include a little seating area in the back with 2 raised planters or like raised beds because of the dog. So a lot of times when you have a dog, you know, they bump into your plantings, they are in your beds. So it's very useful to kind of lift up your beds. And I proposed having the raised beds done out of blue stone. And they turned out beautiful. They will last forever. They're not like pressure treated lumber or just regular wood. They will not rot. They will be there for as long as they live there. So overall, I'm really happy with this project. And all of these photos that I'm showing you guys, they are only like a week old or a couple of days old. So obviously they're not as impressive as the garden tours that I usually show you, where the gardens are mature or like they're approaching their maturity. They're about 3 to 4 years old. So obviously gardens don't happen overnight, as you can see, but overall, when the client saw how much of space they actually have in their backyard, they were really happy, and it all kind of like came together beautifully. So the third project that I'm going to show you today is actually still in a design phase. We have not planted anything yet, but the Photoshop renderings look pretty real, and I wanted to show it to you guys because I think you're gonna like it. So this property is about 1/3 of an acre, and they already landscaped the front of the property, but the back had a lot of holes to fill and had a lot of issues. So the first problem was the foundation plantings in the back. And I love the way that they painted their house. It's like this dark blue color, and it's Actually very fashionable in my neighborhood right now to have those colors, the dark blue and the white trimmed together. I see it everywhere, and for a good reason. It just looks great. So to play off that white trim, I included some wee white hydrangeas, arborescens, and some Hakinacloa and eucharis and euonymus and astilbe for the foundation plantings. And I didn't want it to be like really large because of the scale. I did not want to cover the windows. Now the other area that was problematic in the back of this house was a little patch of dirt right next to their seating area that was surrounded by a raised wall. And I decided to go with this beautiful meadow-like blue and white color scheme, and included 3 vertical elements with boxwood derunk, or it could be some other vertical plant, maybe degroot arborvitae, or some sort of yew that is fastigiata, something vertical, because anytime you have a horizontal wall like this, to play off that and contrast that element with something vertical, it creates a lot of tension and a lot of interest for your eye. So I'm really excited to have that installed. Oh, and like tons of ornamental grasses too. Now the third area that was a problem or a challenge, I would say, in the back was the fact that they had no privacy. There was a road that you could look at, there was electrical wires and electrical poles, there were neighborhood houses. So I decided to include this very informal hedgerow rather than plant like a straight, like a soldier row of maybe arborvitae or something else of a monoculture. I decided to mix up all the different plants and just go have a lot of fun with different textures and different heights and different colors. So there is a Leyland cypress that is covering the electrical pole in the distance. I included a Ninebark and a dogwood, a bunch of hydrangeas, some evergreens for a winter structure, and also a lot of perennials kind of flanking the front of the bed for summer color. And that beautiful Japanese maple on the left kind of continues with that kind of a variety of different textures and colors. Overall, just a really fun project. I just love working on something like this and thinking about spring and installation time. Anyway, I hope you enjoy these kind of videos where I'm kind of going over all of the projects that I worked on, and I think I may do another one very soon. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time.